My daughter said, "Shut up, Dad," at dinner, so I threw the house keys away and never came back.
My daughter hit the oak dining table hard. She yelled, "Shut up, Dad. No one cares what you think. You are just an extra part here, so eat and go to your room." The silver champagne flute shook in front of me. Kevin, my son-in-law, smiled meanly behind his napkin. Tyler, my 18-year-old grandson, kept looking at his iPhone. He just laughed quietly while typing a text. For 74 years, I lived by facts and plans. I led global shipping logistics for 35 years. I moved goods across seas. I fixed big problems that could ruin countries. No one ever told me to shut up in my own house before. I did not shout. I did not toss my food. I just stared at Sarah. I looked at the girl I raised. Her school cost more than my first home. She had on a diamond necklace I got for her mom. I stood up. The chair scraped the wood floor. I left the room and never went back. Before I go on, tell me where you are watching from in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel if you ever left people who ignored your worth. I am Arthur Pendleton, but folks call me Art. I am 74, and for 6 years, I was a ghost in my own big house. Earlier today, I sat in my room looking at a scary paper. It was Sarah's American Express Platinum bill for $17,000 listed her silly buys. Private Pilates, a Sonoma spa trip, and 3 nice bags. I grabbed my heavy Mont Blanc pen. My late wife Margaret gave it to me for our 25th year. I wrote a $4,800 check to Elite Bites Catering for tonight's meal. Sarah wanted to show off to her club friends. She said I must pay since it was my share of house costs. I put the check in a folder. I looked around. This study was my last safe spot. This home in the Hamptons, New York, is worth $2.5 million. I paid cash 12 years ago so Margaret and I could rest well. It has 6 beds, a pool, and a big garage. But I do not sleep in the main room now. 4 years ago, Sarah said she and Kevin needed more room. They claimed my snoring woke them, though their room was far away. They put my stuff in the small first-floor room by the kitchen. It is tiny with one window facing the driveway. They took the big suite with the tub and deck. They took the room where Margaret died. I let them. I thought it kept the peace. I thought family helps family. I was dumb. I checked my desk calendar. It was Friday. Dinner was at 7. Kevin would be there. Kevin is 42 and calls himself a startup guy. In his 12 years married to my girl, he started 6 firms, not one made a dime. I paid for them all. He calls them seed funds. I call them gifts. Last month he begged for $60,000 for a crypto bot. I said no. He stopped talking to me. He treats me like an old chair. I checked the clock. It was 6:30. The cooks were busy. Sarah yelled at the helpers. She is mean to staff. It sickens me. I stood and fixed my tie. I wore my dark gray suit jacket. I still dress up for meals. I cannot stop this habit. Pride takes work. I went to the kitchen. It smelled like roasted beef ribeye. Sarah checked the snacks. She wore a velvet dress that cost maybe $2,500. She glared at me. "Dad, please do not shame us tonight," she said sharply. "Friends are coming soon. Just eat and go hide. Do not tell dull shipping tales. No one cares." I nodded slowly. I stayed quiet. I went to the table. It had my grandma's good silver. Kevin sat there pouring Pinot Noir I saved for a big day. He did not ask me. He filled his glass high. Tyler slouched with headphones on. "Remove those, Tyler," Sarah snapped as she sat. Tyler sighed and pulled them down. The tinny music still played. Kevin drank his wine and said, "I meet a money guy Monday. This tech idea is huge. A unicorn in 4 years. Art, you should join early." I cut my beef. It was too done. I spent $4,800 on dry meat. "I prefer safe bonds, Kevin," I said. "My risk limit is low now." Kevin sneered. "That is your age group's flaw. No bold ideas. You just hide cash. You do not grasp the new world." I chewed. "I grasp you cannot spend what is not yours, Kevin. Money in must beat money out. That is an old rule." Sarah sighed. "Stop, Dad. Do not preach. Kevin is a genius. You just moved boxes. It is different." The rude vibe was thick, but I ate. I took this for years. I thought it was for Tyler. I wanted to be a good grandpa and a strong man for him, but Tyler was just like his dad. Rosa, the maid, came to add water. Rosa has worked here for 18 years. She cared for Margaret when she was ill. She is sweet. As she poured for Tyler, her hand shook. A little water fell on the cloth. "Careful, dummy," Tyler yelled. "Are you blind? See this." He pushed his cup. Water splashed Rosa's clothes. She jumped and said sorry over and over. So sorry, sir, I will wipe it. Stop, Tyler said. Just back off, you are awful. Something broke in me. A tiny snap, my patience died, I set my fork down. Say sorry to her, Tyler, I said softly but clearly. Tyler gave a mean look. What? You heard me, you were mean. Rosa is a person, say sorry now. Tyler laughed a mean laugh. She is the maid, Art, that is her job, to get scolded for mistakes. He looked to his mom. Sarah drank her wine and looked dull. Dad, stop it, Sarah said. He is young and Rosa is clumsy, she stained the cloth. I stared at my girl, the baby I once held, the kid I fixed when she fell, the woman whose school loans I paid so she could be free. Sarah, I said, you raise a spoiled kid. If you do not fix him, he will be useless like his dad. It got quiet. Kevin turned red. He hit his glass on the table. Hey, watch it, old man. You live in our house. Show respect. Our house. The words rang in my head. My name is on the deed, Kevin, I said. I bought it. I pay taxes. I pay for the power for your games. I buy your meals. You are a rude guest here. Then it happened. Sarah got up mad. Shut up, Dad, she screamed. Just be quiet. I hate your pride. No one cares. You are just an extra part here. We keep you out of pity. You are a sad, mean old guy. Eat and go to your room. I looked at her. I looked at Kevin smiling. I looked at Tyler typing on his phone, likely telling pals his grandpa was acting crazy. A weird feeling hit me. Not mad, not sad, pure, cold, clear sight. For years I feared being solo. I took the insults and theft because being alone seemed worse. But viewing these three leeches, I knew I was already solo. I was alone since Margaret died. They were not family. They were bad renters. I said nothing. I stopped eating. I stood. I fixed my jacket. I left the room. Where are you going? Sarah yelled. Do not leave while I speak. I ignored her. I walked past my old room. I did not enter. I went straight to my study. I locked the door. I went to the wall safe behind my ship Art. I turned the lock 041252, Margaret's birth date. The heavy door opened. Inside were my travel books, house deed, gold, and a thick blue folder. I made this folder 3 years ago. I named it Plan B. I hoped to never need it. It held the big keys to my life. I grabbed the blue folder. I grabbed my passport. I took the spare key for my Cadillac Escalade. I put them in my bag. I looked around one last time. I saw the shelf photos. Margaret and me in Rome, me and young Sarah at school. I kept the Margaret photo. I left Sarah's. I unlocked the door. I walked to the front. The dining room was loud. They laughed now. They made fun of me. He will return, Kevin said. He has no place to go. He is too old to live alone. I opened the huge wood door. The night air felt good. I stepped outside. I held my keys, the brass front key, the silver gate key, the alarm tag. Sarah peeked out. Dad, where are you going? It is 8:00. You cannot drive in the dark. Your eyes are bad. My eyes were great. I had eye surgery 8 months ago. I hid it so I would not be their driver. I am leaving, I said. Do not be silly, Sarah huffed. Get inside. If you go, do not expect me to let you in later. I am changing the code. I stared at my keys. I looked at the grass I paid $650 a month for. I looked at the home meant to be my mark. Do not worry about that, Sarah, I said. I threw the keys hard. They flew in the light. They fell into the thick rose bushes. Sarah gasped. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Get those now. I turned away. I went to my car. I started it. The engine hummed. It felt like power. It felt like freedom. I backed out. Sarah screamed from the door, but the glass blocked the noise. I did not look back. I drove down the road to the city. I drove 30 minutes. I pulled up to the Ritz-Carlton valet. Good evening, sir, he said. Welcome back, Mr. Pendleton. I gave him the keys. Keep it near, son, I said. I need it tomorrow. I walked inside. The floors shined. It smelled like flowers. I went to the desk. David knows me. I kept a club pass here for 20 years. Sarah did not know this. Mr. Pendleton, a shock, David said. We did not expect you. I need a big room, David, I said, for a long stay. And send good scotch up. Yes, sir, the usual. I went up. I sat on the soft couch and drank. It burned well. I checked my phone. 15 missed calls from Sarah, 7 texts. Where are you? Not funny. Dad, answer. You act like a kid. We worry. Kevin will call the cops. Reply. I did not reply. I found Richard Vance in my phone. Richard has been my friend and lawyer for 45 years. He is a tough New York lawyer, but true to me. I called. It rang twice. His voice was rough. It is 9:00 Friday. Who died? Not yet, I said, but the old Art Pendleton is gone. What happened, Art? They went too far, Richard. Sarah said to shut up. She called me an extra part. There was a pause, then Richard gave a dark laugh. So it is time. Yes, Richard, I said. It is time. Open the blue file. Are we going full attack? Richard asked. I stared at the city lights. I thought of their rude, mean acts. I thought of Kevin's smirk. No, Richard, I said. A fast attack is too nice. I want a slow crush. Start phase 1. Stop the cards, lock the banks, and call the power firm. You want the lights out? Richard asked. Turn it all off, I said. Let them sit in the dark. I hung up. I drank my scotch. For the first time in 6 years, I slept deeply. At 7, I woke. I ordered coffee and eggs. I ate slowly in the quiet. I grabbed my iPad and opened the home cameras. I put cameras up 3 years ago when my cash went missing. Sarah and Kevin thought they were just outside, but I had them inside too. They did not know I watched. It was 10:00 a.m. Sarah entered the kitchen in her robe. She looked unwell. She checked the coffee spot. It was bare. I took the beans with me. She shut the door hard. She tried the $3,800 espresso machine Kevin wanted. She pushed the button. Nothing. She tried again. It worked, but had no beans. She yelled a very bad word. She took her phone and called me. I saw the call on my screen. I said no. She tossed the phone. She rushed to the fridge. It was full of good food I bought. She drank juice right from the box. The bell rang. I looked at the porch view. It was Mr. Martinez, the yard man. He is big with a mustache. He looked annoyed. Sarah answered. What? She snapped. I need my pay, Mrs. Pendleton. Mr. Martinez said, $500 for the week. Your dad leaves cash under the mat. It is gone. He is busy, Sarah lied. Return later. I cannot, Martinez said. I must pay my guys. Pay me now or we stop and take the new plants back. Sarah sneered. Fine, do you take plastic? I have a phone reader, he said. She went to get her bag. She brought the black AMX, my card. The one she could use. She gave it to him. He swiped it. He frowned. He tried again. It says no, ma'am. Impossible, she said. That card has no cap. Try again. He did. No. Another card, he asked. She gave a Visa. No, she gave a MasterCard. No, I sat sipping coffee. Richard is fast. He stopped them all at 9:00 sharp. Your phone is bad, Sarah yelled. My phone is fine, Martinez said. Look, I am taking the plants and do not call unless you have cash. He left. Sarah watched him take the pricey flowers she made me buy. She was mad and scared. I zoomed in. This was just the start. The yard bill was $500. The house note was due Monday. Power was due Tuesday. Kevin's car bill was due Wednesday. Kevin walked out, rubbing his eyes. What is wrong? He asked. Cards are dead, Sarah screamed. Dad will not answer. Kevin laughed. He forgot to pay. He is getting old. Do not stress. I will fix it at the bank. I need to move money anyway. I saw him walk to his BMW 7 Series. I leased it because his credit is terrible. He pushed the unlock button. Nothing. He pushed it again. Nothing. He pulled the door. Locked. I smiled. The car firm has a remote lock. If you say it is risky, they freeze the car. I told them at 8:00 a.m. Kevin kicked the tire. He looked like a sad kid. This weekend would be fun. I poured more coffee to watch. This was just the warm-up. The big act was near. I had a Monday chat with Mr. Sterling, a property man. He deals with life estate deeds. Sarah thought she would get a huge house. She would get a bad shock. The phone rang. It was Richard. Phase 1 is done, Art. Richard said. Banks are shut. Credit is frozen. I sent a letter to the house. What letter? I asked. Breach of contract, Richard said, about the card deal. Using the accounts is now fraud. Great, I said. Richard paused. Are you sure about the power? It will be 90 degrees. I looked at my iPad. Tyler yelled that the Wi-Fi was off. I am sure, Richard, I said. They like heat. Let them sweat. I hung up. I watched them fall apart clearly. I felt zero guilt. I felt glad the scales were even. They wanted me quiet. They wanted me unseen. Now I was unseen. My silence would be very loud. The big hotel door shut with a rich sound. I stood there breathing. It did not smell like cheap smoke or Kevin's bad spray. It smelled clean. It smelled quiet. For the first time in 12 years, I did not tiptoe or keep the TV low. I was 74 and ran away like a kid. But I had a platinum card and a plan to drop my bad family. I went to the bed. The soft sheets were nicer than Kevin's brain. I looked at the clock. It was 2:14 a.m. At home, Sarah would yell at me for ruining her sleep if I walked now. She would scold me for the cost of the fridge light. She would treat me like a sick old fool. I grabbed the phone. I called food service. A nice voice spoke. Morning, Mr. Pendleton. How can we help? I want a truffle steak, I said. Medium rare with fries. Send a 1995 wine and tiramisu. Yes, sir. Anything else? No, I hung up. The bill would be $380 for a late snack. Sarah would be so mad, I smiled. For 12 years, I saved every cent, wore old clothes, and drove a loud car for Tyler's school and Sarah's rich life. I gave up everything for them. And they said shut up. They called me an extra part. Soon, I ate the best meat ever by the window. I drank wine worth more than Kevin's weekly work. I looked at the dark city. Sarah slept in a free bed, dreaming of a fancy party she could not buy. She thought she was boss. She did not know I broke her fake castle. I wiped my mouth and called Richard. He sleeps little and ruins bad people. He answered fast. Update Art. I am at the Ritz, I said. I ordered late food. It tastes like winning. Good, Richard said. Now the money. I can freeze it all, a warning or the axe. The axe, I said. Do it all. Got it, Richard said. I'm moving the cash to a trust for just you. When they wake, they will see zero, the cards too. Yes, cancel Sarah, Kevin, and Tyler. Say they are stolen, mark as fraud, make the machines reject them hard. Done, Richard said. What about utilities? Kill them, I said. Tell them the owner left, no more service. It takes a day to stop, Richard warned. Fine, I said. Let them have one last comfy day. It makes the dark worse. Else. Yes, I said. The big deed. I have it, Richard said. Mr. Sterling is ready, but Art, this is final. You lose the house. I looked in the glass. I looked old but smart. I lost it long ago, Richard, I said. It died with my wife. Now it just holds leeches. Sign it. Let Sterling kick them out fast. Done, Richard said. Sleep, Art. Tomorrow will be wild. I hung up. I finished the wine. I slept in the huge bed. For the first time in years, I liked the morning. I wanted the sun to come. I wanted the show. The sun shone bright in my Ritz room. But my iPad showed a sad morning at my old jail. I sat with hot coffee I did not make. It was 10:15. Usually the house was quiet waiting for the queen. I watched the kitchen. It was clean because I washed it. It shone until Sarah walked in. She wore an emerald green satin robe worth $750. I bought it and she hated it. She looked messy and tired. She went to the coffee spot. For 12 years my mornings were tasks to please her. I woke at 5:30. I made the coffee right. By 10:00 she had fresh brew, fruit, and toast. Today it was empty. She stopped. She stared at the empty pot. She blinked. She looked at my old door. Dad, she yelled. Her voice was scratchy. Where is the coffee? No reply. I drank my good coffee. She grumbled and checked the machine. Empty. She checked the bean jar. Empty. I tossed them mean, but it worked. She slammed it. Useless old man, she mumbled. She pressed screen buttons. Sarah thinks she is smart but cannot work a machine. I always fix things. The screen beeped. She kicked the wood. I felt happy. She was mad because her servant left. The bell rang. She jumped. The clock said 10:20. She walked to the door. It was Mr. O'Connor. He does the lawn. Every week I paid him $500. Sarah knew the yard looked nice but ignored the bill. She opened the door without a smile. What? She asked. He took off his hat. Morning, Mrs. Pendleton. I need the envelope. Dad is gone, she said. Come back. I cannot, he said. The work is big. I need to pay the guys. Sarah huffed. Fine. How much? 500. She went to her bag. She looked in her wallet. No cash. She uses me like a bank. She grabbed the heavy black AMX. It is her pride. I reported it stolen today. No cash, she said. Got a reader, he nodded. He plugged in a white square. He swiped the metal. I watched closely. This was it. He frowned. He swiped again. It fails, ma'am, he said. She laughed. Silly, it has no limit. Try again. Bad signal. He tried. He showed her. Declined. She grabbed it. She stared at it. A mistake, she said. Her voice shook. Dad forgot the bill. He is crazy. Try this. She gave a visa. Declined. Her face got red. She was embarrassed. A rich lady told she is broke by the yard man outside. I cannot believe this, she shrieked. Wait. She ran to get her phone. She called me. I let it ring. She paced the kitchen, chewing her nail. She looked tiny. She hung up and ran back. He will not answer. Bill us. He put his hat on. No bills, Mrs. Pendleton. Cash only. I am taking the bags back. Fine, she yelled. Go, we will find a new guy. She slammed the door. She breathed heavy. She looked at the card and the empty house. For 40 years she lived on my money. She never saw a declined card. She never felt the shame of not paying a worker. She went to the fridge. She wanted peace, but there was none. She slammed the door. Dad, she yelled, pick up. I drank my coffee. It was cold but sweet. I did not answer. I watched. The first lesson. The world ignores who your dad is if the card fails. Her rich life was rented. And the rent was up. My phone buzzed loudly on the desk. I did not hide it. I left it by my water and notebook. I wanted to see them panic. In shipping, we watched the broken chain. When goods stop, people scream. My family screamed. Sarah called again. Her 12th try, her 18-year-old wedding photo showed. She looked glad. I paid $100,000 for that day. I paid for the dress and the drinks Kevin drank. She hugged me and said I was the best dad. Now the phone just buzzed. I checked the 9 messages. I used the speaker. I leaned back. It was review time, MSG 1:10:45 a.m. Sarah, she sounded shrill. Dad, this is silly. The yard guy took the plants. Fix this. Send money to the joint bank now. I am at the store with no cash. Answer. Delete. She just made demands. MSG 2. 11:15 a.m. Kevin, he sounded out of breath, probably walking home. Hey Art, it is Kevin. The BMW is stuck. They say it is stolen. You pushed a bad button. Call them. I have a meeting. Call me. Delete. He lied. He plays poker on Saturdays. MSG 3. 12:30 p.m. Tyler. He only calls for games. Grandpa, no internet. Mom says you missed the bill. I'm in a match. Fix it. It is bad here. Delete. No greeting, just demands. I looked up. Did I fail them or are they bad? It did not matter. MSG 4. 1:45 p.m. Sarah again. She tried to sound sweet now. Dad, we worry. You do not leave like this. Kevin thinks you are sick, confused. We want you safe. Call or we call cops. We love you. I deleted it. She faked her love. She wanted to say I was crazy. If I was crazy, she would get the money. MSG 5. 2:10 p.m. Kevin. Art answer. Sarah is crying. If this is about the 60,000, forget it. Just come home. Stop this. I laughed. He thought we could trade. He did not know the store was empty. The phone lit up. Sarah, I let it ring. I pictured her holding the phone tight. She knew the silence was a big wall. I always fixed their mess. I was their net. Now I was just a noise on a table. I wrote notes about the calls. If they said I was mad, I had proof. Proof of their greed. The phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. Dad, please. Sorry if I was bad. Come back. The if meant everything. She was not sorry she told me to shut up. She just hated the pain. She was sad the cash left. I flipped the phone. I liked my quiet room. They would have to hear my quiet and it would get loud. I looked at the iPad. It was 2:30 p.m. The sun baked the drive. The black BMW 7 Series sat there. It was a nice, costly ride. I got it 4 years ago because Kevin wanted to look rich. He said looks mattered. I paid the $3,800 a month lease. He bought the pine tree scent for the mirror. I saw the back door open. Kevin walked out. He wore new clothes. He wore a light gray suit. He had shoes with no socks. His leather case was under his arm. He wore shades. He looked ready to make a huge deal. I knew the truth. He was going to play poker at the club. He would risk cash he lacked. He would drink costly scotch. He was running away. He left Sarah to face the yard worker and the bare fridge. He went to act big with his pals. He strutted. He fixed his sleeves. He glared at the house once more. He shook his head in a mad way. He likely muttered about my bad mood. He hated that the old man got mad. He walked to the car. He hit the fob to unlock it. The lights blinked. The mirrors opened. The car let him in. It did not know it was a snare yet. He opened the thick door. Sat on the Sonoma leather. He shut the door. I felt the quiet in there. The BMW 7 Series is a vault. It blocks out the world. He set his case on the next seat. He looked in the mirror. He smiled. A big fish in a small pond. He pushed the start button. My screen showed no change. No smoke came out, no shake, just quiet. Kevin looked mad. He pushed it hard again, still dead. He stared at the dash. He hit the wheel. He thought the battery died. He thought he must call for help. My lease paid for that. Then the big screen turned on. I heard no sound from the car, but I knew the words. I sent the order through the car app at 8:15 today. It helps find stolen cars. It kills the engine. It locks the doors to trap the thief until cops come. Kevin gaped at the screen. His mouth dropped. He took off his shades. Red words flashed on the dash. Car reported stolen. Engine dead. Cops called. He grabbed the handle. He pulled. Locked. He yanked it hard. The locks were shut deep. He pressed the unlock button. No luck. He hit it more. His finger jabbed the plastic. The car was in trap mode. It was a jail made of leather and wood. He began to freak out. I saw his fear. He turned to the right door. He jumped across the middle. He pulled that handle. Locked. He tried the back. Locked. He was stuck. The sun hit the black roof. The car sat there for a long time. The heat rose fast. With no engine, the cool air died. It felt like a hot box. A very rich, very tight hot box. Kevin hit the glass. A BMW 7 Series has thick double glass. It blocks noise and pests. A fist cannot break it well. He hit and yelled. His face twisted. He cried for help, but the path is long. The next house is far. Sarah was in the house. She likely hid in the back room to pout. No one heard him. He undid his tie. He took off his coat. Sweat made his shirt dark. He checked his phone. He called someone. He put it to his ear. Then he tossed it on the seat. No bars. The glass blocked the waves. Any weak signal failed to make a call, or I just had good luck. 10 minutes went by. Kevin was wet. His hair stuck to his head. His face was red. He took hard breaths. He looked like a fish out of water. He lost his cool boss look. He was a scared man. He knew he had no power. He kicked the dash. He ripped at the wheel. He wrecked a car that was not his. I watched in peace. I bit into a fresh apple. This man called me extra trash. This man spent my life savings on silly tasks. Now he sweat out his pride bit by bit. At last he reached back. He grabbed a heavy metal light for bad times. He hit the left window with it. The glass cracked. It did not break. He hit it with all his strength. A web of lines showed up. He hit it a third time. He yelled in anger. The glass gave in. Tiny cubes fell on his lap and the ground. He used his case to clear sharp parts. It ruined the bag. He climbed out head first. He fell on the hot drive. He scraped his hands and knees. He lay there a bit. He puffed and gasped. His suit was trash. His pride was gone. He looked like a thief who failed to run. He stood up weak. He saw the smashed glass. He saw the quiet car. He kicked a tire. He grabbed his foot in pain. He yelled at the sky. He stared at the garage cam. He knew I watched him. He flipped off the lens. I grinned. It meant nothing. A final sad act from a beat man. He limped to the house. The car sat broken open. The alarm began to honk. It rang loud in the still street. I shut the app. The car was done for. The inside glass and tech were ruined. The lease rules were strict. Bad use meant the renter must pay. That was me, but I had a policy. And Kevin had zero. No car, no meat, no timing is key. You never cut off a foe who sleeps. You cut it when they crave things. I opened the cam app on my pad. I got new cams 8 months ago. They used cell waves and batteries. I told Sarah it was for bad weather. It was really for right now. I needed to see when the power died. I changed the view to the lounge. Tyler lay on the couch. He wore a headset. He yelled at the TV. He played an online gun game. His thumbs moved so fast. He felt right at home. A fake soldier in a free house. He used web speeds he did not work for. Kevin stood in the kitchen. He looked at the stove. He tried to warm a pizza slice. He looked a mess. His gray suit from a day ago lay bunched up. He wore gym shorts and a dirty shirt. Sarah sat by the counter. She used her phone. She looked for a Sunday law firm or a cheap yard guy. The stove clock hit 1200, then it hit. The screen went dark. The fridge hum died out. The top fan slowed down and stopped cold. The soft sounds of a new house left. The buzz and the cool wind sounds were gone. Quiet. For 3 ticks it was dead quiet. Then a yell ripped the house. It came from the lounge. It was a raw sound like a beast in a snare. No, Tyler cried. No, lag. He threw his pad at the set. It bounced off the black screen. What gives, he yelled. Mom, the net, it dropped. I was winning big. Fix it. Fix it right now. Sarah looked up. The net sign on her phone was likely gone. Power is gone, she said. She sounded calm then, just a small pain. Kevin tapped the stove. Grand, he mumbled, my pizza is chill now. Look at the fuse box, Sarah said. Dad likely blew a fuse with his old gear. I saw Kevin walk to the box. He opened the door. He hit the main switch. Dead. He hit the small ones. Click, click, click. The noise rang in the still air. Nothing lit. It is not the box, Kevin shouted. The meter is black. Sarah stood up. She went to the glass. She looked at the next home. Their front lights shone. Their water ran. The next folks have power, she said. Fear came in her tone. Why don't we? Tyler ran in. His face was red. He shook. I can't use a hot spot, he yelled. No bars at all. I grinned. I killed the phone plans 10 ticks ago. They had to use bad public towers. Those were poor in our area. It gets hot fast, Kevin said. He wiped his brow. With no cool air, the place felt like an oven. The sun hit the big glass panes. The wall stuff that held heat in the cold now trapped the sun rays. The heat would hit 90 soon. Sarah went to the tap for a drink. She turned the knob. A small drip fell out, then a gasp, then dry. The house used a well. The well pump used power. No power meant dry taps. Dry taps meant no ice and no baths. It also meant no flush for the bowls. Sarah turned the knob fast and hard. The water, she gasped. The water is gone as well. No way, Kevin said. This is a big fault. I will call the power firm. He took out his phone. I saw him dial. I could guess the robot voice he heard. We are sad to say. The account for this phone is shut by the boss. He put the phone down slow. He looked white. They said the account is dead, Sarah. They said the boss stopped it. Sarah held the counter hard. She looked at the roof cam. She stared right at me. She got it. He cut it all off, she hissed. He killed it all. Tyler kicked the base. I hate him, he yelled. I hate him. I will drop my score rank. He does not care for your game rank, Tyler, I said to my bare room. He wants respect. You just ran out of debt space. I moved the cam to the food room. I saw fine food on shelves, rich oils and nice noodles. Then I saw the fridge. It was a huge brand that cost $15,000. It held $380 of pure green grass beef cuts. Kevin bought fish eggs to cheer for his fake big deal. There were fancy cheeses. There was fresh pink fish. Heat inside the box went up fast. Bad germs began to grow. The beef cuts got wet. The milk turned bad. The stink would be vile by the next dawn. That food was long hours of my hard work. It meant early dawns and late darks at the docks. Now it's spoiled, just like their free ride in life. I saw Sarah open the ice box. She took out a big tub of ice cream. It was mushy now. She grabbed a spoon. She ate it fast and mad. It was a kid's way to cope. If she could not save it, she would eat it all. Kevin sat at the table. He held his head. What do we do now? He asked. We can't stay with no cool air. We will burn up. We won't leave, Sarah snapped. That is his plan. He wants to smoke us out. We stay here. Tyler moaned about no web. Are you mad? I'm going to Kyle's place. You stay right here, Sarah yelled. We must be one firm team. When he rings, we must be home. He won't call, Kevin said. His voice was flat. He shut us out, Sarah. The car is a dead rock. The cards are blank. The lights are off. He does not play. This is combat. I shut the pad flap. Kevin was brighter than he looked. It was a war. I had sliced their food lines. A siege is a slow and grim act. It crushes the soul first, then the flesh. They were stuck in a big house turning to a dark grave. A black, hot, still grave full of the smell of rotten, rich stuff. I stood and walked to the wall dial. I turned it down to 68. A cold wind blew from the grills. I asked for iced tea. I had lots of time. They just had until the cold treat melted. And it melted real quick. It was 4:00 p.m. A sure knock hit my room door. It was not a maid's soft tap. It was not a food worker bringing tea. It was loud and hard. The cops wanted in. I did not flinch. I stayed calm. In my job line, you learn that all moves get a back move. I knew this would happen. 12 hours passed. I got up from the desk. I was reading the paper there. I checked the mirror. I wore a clean white shirt, neat pants, and my glass frames. I looked like an old boss on a trip. I did not look like a lost, sick old man. I walked to the door and peeked out. 2 cops from the Hamptons Force stood there. One young cop looked tight and ready to fight. The older cop looked beat. They thought they would find a mad old man, maybe in sleepwear, maybe yelling at the TV. I opened the door. Good day, men, I said. My voice was calm and polite. How can I help you? The top cop blinked. He looked at the room tag, then at me. The gap from what he heard to what he saw was clear. Are you Arthur Pendleton? The cop asked. I am, I said. Come in. It is cool in here. They walked in. Their eyes swept the space. They saw the neat desk, the crisp bed, no mess at all. They saw a man well in charge. Mr. Pendleton, the young cop began. His hand rested by his belt. We got a call from Sarah Pendleton. She is worried. She said you are lost for a full day. She said you have a sick mind. She said you need heart pills you left home. She thinks you are a risk to yourself. I smiled, a very slim smile. Sarah played the old person alert. It was a wild try. She tried to use cops to drag me back to pay her bills again. She lied on the pills. My heart is very strong. I waved to the chairs. Sit down, please, I said. Want some water or tea? It is fresh. The cops looked at each other. The stress fell away. A man giving out tea is not crazy. No thanks, sir, the top cop said. We just need to check on you. Your girl pushed hard. She said you might be mad and lost. I walked to my desk. I opened my case. I pulled out a fresh note. I saw Dr. William Hayes, the best brain doctor in New York, at 9:00 today. I gave cash for a fast checkup. I knew Sarah would doubt my mind, so I got proof first, before she called for help. I gave the paper to the cop. "Sir, I saw this coming." I said, "This is a stamped proof of my sane mind from Dr. Hayes." He signed it 6 hours back. It says I am sharp. I can make my own cash and health choices. It says I have no bad brain illness. And I need no heart drugs. The cop read the page. His brows rose. He gave it to his mate. "This is from today," he said. "Right," I said. "You see, guys, she does not care if I am sick. She just cares for her rich life. I stopped paying her debts a day ago. I killed the cards. I left the house I own. She uses you to scare me back. She wants me to pay for her flaws." The cop let out a breath. He looked at the grand room. He looked at me. He knew he was a toy in a cash fight. Cops hate home fights. They hate lies worse. "So you stay here by choice?" he asked. I said. "I'm on a trip away from my bad kin, and you are safe." "I'm safer here than in that home," I said. He gave a nod. He took out his pad. "Pendleton, sorry to barge in. We must check these calls, mostly with old folks. But it is plain the call was wrong. It was a clear lie, sir." I said she made a fake claim to bug me. "I think that breaks a law. It is a minor crime," the cop said. His voice got firm. He grabbed his walkie. "Base Unit 4, man found, Code 4. He is safe, sane, and here by choice. No docs needed. Drop the alert." Then he took out his cell. "I must call the teamster to shut the case," he said. "Please use the speaker," I asked. "I want it all loud and clear." He paused. Then he tapped it. It rang once. "Sir, did you find him?" Sarah yelled from the phone. She sounded wild and out of breath. "Is he well? Is he lost? Do not heed him if he speaks of cash. He sees things. You must bring him home right away. His room is set." The cop held the phone still. His face was hard. "Mrs. Pendleton, this is Sergeant Davis. We found your dad." "Oh, thank God," Sarah cried. "Is he hurt? Did he know you cops? Just put him in the ride, please. We worry so much." "Ma'am, stop talking," he barked. His tone was sharp enough to slice glass. "We checked your dad. He is very well. He is sharp. He gave us a doc note proving he is sane. He is not lost. He just chose to ignore you." Dead quiet on the line. A long, deep quiet. "What?" Sarah whispered. "No way. He is ill. He acts blind. He needs me." "Mrs. Pendleton," the cop went on, ignoring her cries. "Faking a lost person report and lying on health notes to cops breaks the law. You wasted cop time today. Cops checked parks. They could have saved real lives. But he is my dad," Sarah yelled. "He walked out. He cut the power. He wants to harm us. That sounds like a civil suit, ma'am. Do not call 911 again if it is not life or death. If you use cops to bug Mr. Pendleton again, we will fine you. Do you get it? He lies to you," Sarah yelled. "He plays you. Bye, Mrs. Pendleton." He hung up. He glanced at me. A flash of respect showed in his eyes. Maybe he felt for me. He likely had his own kids. He knew how it felt to be used. "Mr. Pendleton, if she comes here, call us for trespass," he said. "Hotel guards are fine, but we can write a stay-away order if you need." "Thanks, sir." I said I hope it avoids that, but my girl hates the word no. The cops stood up. They said no to water again, but smiled this time. "Have a good trip, Mr. Pendleton," the young cop said. I walked them out. I locked up. I leaned on the thick door. A huge load left my chest. Sarah had shot her best shot. She tried to strip my rights. She tried to brand me sick, but it blew up in her face. I went to the desk and grabbed my cell. I made no call to her. I sent no text. I just sent the audio clip of the cops I taped on my pad. I sent it to Richard Vance. "Add this to the stack, Richard." I typed item C, bad faith acts and lies. I sat down and poured some tea. It was still warm. I pictured the house. Sarah stared at her phone in the deep heat. She knew the cops would not save her rich life. She knew she could not drag me back. The mad old dad tale fell apart. She was stuck. The home got more hot. Food was turning to sludge. She knew I was not just gone. I watched and I won. The sun sank low. It painted the sky dark and gold. It was a lovely night. I chose to go to the bar for some jazz tunes. I put on my coat. I checked my wallet. I had free will in my pocket. It felt light as air. The pet chase was done. We hit the final act now. Sarah ran out of plays. I went back to my room at 8:00 p.m. The jazz gig below was grand. Smooth horn and keys washed the cop stress away. I felt lighter than in long years. I felt tough. The hotel staff fixed the bed. They left a sweet piece on it. It was a nice touch. My own girl never did that in 12 years living at my house. I walked to the window. The town was a grid of bright light. Out in the dark 20 miles off, my home sat in black gloom. I checked my weather app. The Hamptons was still 82 with thick, wet air. In a tight house with no vents, it would be close to 95. The air would be dense and stale. The blackness was pure. I poured bubbly water in a glass. I sat in a leather chair by the view. I picked up my cell. It was quiet for 2 hours. Sarah was planning her next move. She found out the alert failed. She found out the cops were not her own guards. She found out she lost. Then the phone shook. One single text came. A large block of gray words on the black screen. It was from Sarah. I put on my glasses. I thought she would say sorry. I thought she would beg. I thought she would whine about the dark fear. I did not see that coming. Dad, you think you are sharp. You think you won. You just tricked those cops with a fake doc note. You won zero. You just made me mad. And you do not want to see me mad. Here is your final shot. Come home tonight. Fix the power. Fix the bank cards. Say sorry to Kevin. If you are not in by late night, I stop being the sweet girl. I just talked to Dr. Evans. You recall him, right? He helped the Millers with their bad aunt. He owes me one. He will sign a note to say you have rapid, wild, mad mind and wild fears. He will say on stand you are a risk to all and yourself. We will lock you in Shady Pines by force. Yes, that state place with bad suits and a foul smell. I will grab fast control of you. I will hold your legal rights. And I will jam you in a room. You will never see light again. You will die in a cage in a soil wrap. We will live in your house. This is no threat, Dad. It is a vow. Come back or lose it all. I read it twice. My chest felt cold, but it was not fear at all. It was the feel of a latch clicking in. It felt like a riddle now solved. For years I asked if Sarah was just soft or pure evil. Was her greed a trait or a dark flaw? I had my answer now. She was not just rude. She was a hunter. She would fake doc notes to jail her dad in a state pit, just to keep her club card. She would delete my free life for her cozy life. Dr. Evans, I knew that name. He was an elite doc who sat at the club bar a lot. He gave out drug slips to sad wives to drop pounds or nap all day. He had a betting vice and bad morals. It fit well that Sarah went to him. I checked the time. 8:15 p.m. She typed it out. In my old biz, we say if it is not in print, it is not real. But in print, it is proof. Sarah just did a huge crime. She swore to plot with a pro to do fraud and lock me up. She tried to blackmail me. She sent proof right to her mark. I gave no reply. I typed no mad text. I made no yell call. I took a screen snap, then one more to be sure. I opened my safe mail app. I stuck the pic in. I typed one line in the subject. Blackmail and plot. Item A. I sent it to Richard Vance. Half a minute on, my phone rang. It was Richard. Art, Richard said. His voice was grim. I got your mail just now. Did she really send this? I said she is less smart than I guessed. Richard said this is a big crime in New York, a try to steal by force, fake health plots, and foul jail threats. Art, this is no home fight now. It is a real crime. I looked at the town lights. I drank some water. I know Richard. We can lock her up, Richard said. I can ring the top lawman now. I play golf with him each Sunday. We can get a warrant by dawn. Dr. Evans, too. His job pass will end by noon. I gave it some thought. I pictured Sarah in cuffs. The shame would feel so sweet. It was pure justice. Not yet, Richard, I said. Why, Art? She said she would cage you. A fast arrest is too kind, I said. Jail makes her the victim in her own head. She gets to be a poor soul. She will weep to the news. She will claim I framed her. No, Richard, she must lose the house first. She must lose her high rank. She needs to stand in the dark. She must see her best card was a blank. Richard sighed. You are a cold man, Art. She got it from me, I said. Hold this text, Richard. Stamp the receipt. If she takes that paper to court, we will drop this on the judge like a bomb. We will use it for a ban order. Got it, Richard said. I will write the ban paper tonight. We will hold it in wait. What of Dr. Evans? Send him a note. A quiet one, I said. Say we own the text. Tell him if he signs a health note on me. We send this to the state board and the feds. Richard laughed. He will sweat tons. He will toss Sarah like a bad burn. Right, I said. Cut her off. Strip her pals. Let her scream at a blank wall. I will do it, Richard said. Be safe, Art. She is wild. Wild folks pose risks. She is no risk. I said she is just loud. Her charge is dying out. I hung up. I read the text once more. Die in a cage. A kid saying that to her dad. The dad who taught her to bike. The dad who paid for her teeth wire. I trashed the thread from the main view. I kept it safe in the hidden file. I hated to see it when I checked my phone. It was too grim. It was the dead end of a bond I forced alive for too long. I stood up and walked to my bed. I had to sleep. Monday was next, the big bash day, or what Sarah thought was bash day. She likely sat in the dark now, sweating. She thought her dark threat won. She thought me weak and easy to fold. She knew nothing of how I fought pirates on the high seas in the past. I faced huge worker strikes at major ports. I fought bad lawmen in poor lands. A bad brat with a cell phone would never snap me. I shut off the lamp. The room was chilly and black. I closed my eyes. I thought of Kevin. While Sarah swore to cage me, Kevin tried to crack my safe. He knew I hid backup cash there. He did not know I took it all out weeks ago. He did not know a foul trick lay inside for him. Let them plot on. Let them hiss. Let them dig deep holes. I held the spade. And next day I would hand it to Mr. Sterling. The heavy sweet door shut hard behind me. It locked out the world with a rich, solid thud. I stood in the hall a bit. I just took deep breaths. The air lacked foul vape scent. It lacked my son-in-law's cheap scent spray. It smelled of fresh blooms and crisp lemon oil. It smelled of peace. For the first time in 12 years, I did not fear to walk loud. I did not fear the TV was too loud. I was 74 years old. I just ran off from home like a teen. I had no school bag. I had a metal bank card and a plot to crush my rotten kin. I walked to the bed space. The sheets were fine cloth with a count far higher than Kevin's IQ. I sat on the bed edge. I checked the clock screen. It was 2:14 a.m. At home, a trip to the food room at this hour made Sarah storm out. She would yell that I ruined her sleep cycle. She would scold me for the power cost when I opened the fridge door. She treated me like a lost, mad old guy. I picked up the room phone. I pushed the food button. A kind voice spoke right away. "Good morning, Mr. Pendleton. How can we help?" "I want a truffle steak," I said, "pink in the middle with rich fries. Send up a 1995 Pinot Noir and some tiramisu." "Yes, sir." "Is that all?" "Yes, that is all." I hung up. The tab would pass $380 for a late bite. Sarah would flip out if she knew. That thought made me beam. For 12 years I watched each cent I spent. I wore shirts till they ripped. I drove cars till they shook. I did it to save cash for my grandson's school and my girl's rich life. I kept all good things from myself so they had it all, and they told me to be quiet. They called me extra junk. Half an hour passed. I sat by the big window. I ate the best steak of my life. I drank wine that cost more than Kevin's week output to the world. I viewed the town lights below. Out in the dark space, my child slept in a giant bed she never paid for. She dreamt of a party she could not buy. She felt like a true queen. She did not know her fort sat on sand, and I just kicked the bass hard. I cleaned my mouth with a nice cloth. I grabbed my cell phone. I dialed Richard. I knew he was up. Richard Vance sleeps 3 hours a night. He spends the rest planning how to smash folks who bug him in legal ways. He picked up on ring 1. Status report, Art. "I am at the Grand Hotel." I said I just got rich food sent up. It tasted like a win. "Good," Richard said. "Now for the cash traits. I hold the sheets to freeze it all." "Do we give a small warning shot or drop the big blade?" "Drop it," I said. "I want step 1 full go." "Got it," Richard said. "I will log into the shared bank now. I move all cash into a trust in your name only. When they wake up, the cash pool will read 0. "Do it," I said. "And the bank cards?" Richard asked. "You have 4 user cards tied to your main black card line. Sarah, Kevin, and Tyler, kill them," I said. "Do not just pause them, Richard. Claim they are stolen, flag them for scams. I want the machines to scream no when they try to buy gum." "Done," Richard said. I heard him type. "And the house powers, kill them," I said. "Power, water, gas, and web. Cut the deals. Tell them the owner left the site. No more power is allowed. It takes a full day for the hard cut," Richard warned. "That works fine," I said. "Give them one last day of ease. It will make the black feel far worse." "Anything else, Art?" "Yes," I said. "The home deed plot, the huge bomb option." "I hold the sheets on my desk," Richard said. "Mr. Sterling is ready to act, but Art, if we do this, you can't go back. The home goes to the big fund firm. You lose the true rights." I saw my face in the dark glass. I looked quite old, but my eyes were keen. "I lost that house far back in time, Richard," I said. "It stopped being a warm home the day my wife passed. Now it is a shell full of leeches. Sign the sheets, shift the deed. I want Sterling to kick them out ere the ink dries flat." "Will do," Richard said. "Try to get some rest, Art. Tomorrow will be a huge bloodbath." I hung up the phone. I drank the rest of my wine. I slid into the huge bed and shut my eyes. For the first time in ages, I did not fear dawn. I wished the sun to rise fast. I wished for the play to start. I sat in the black hotel room. Just the pad screen glow gave light. It was 3:14 a.m. on Monday, the late night air, the Big Bash. The house in the Hamptons was quiet and hot, but something moved in the home office. I waited for this exact thing. I guess this wild act would start for 8 months now. In my trade line, we term it a sweet trap. You build a nice mark to draw a thief to act. My room safe was the trap. For years, I kept a lot of cash there. Near $60,000 in a fire-safe box. I called it my doomsday fund. Sarah knew of it. Kevin knew of it. He eyed that iron box lots of times. He stared at the dial each time he asked for a loan. He thought it was his free backup bank. He did not know I took it all out weeks ago. I just left one bare white note. I watched the heat cam stream. The door to the office let out a squeak. A beam from a thick light cut the black space. It was Kevin. He wore all black like a comic thief. He dripped in sweat. The heat mixed with the deep drag of his own faults. It made him a shaking wreck. He shut the door fast and locked it. He hid this act from Sarah. This was his quiet, dark sin. He went to the huge boat art piece by my desk. He took it off with poor, shaky hands. He placed it on the floor. There it sat, the wall box. It was an old build, a thick steel vault built in the 80s. It looked tough to crack, but I knew a trick. The lock block was worn out. If you twist the knob hard while hitting the side with a soft club, the pin slipped down. I did not fix the flaw at all. I lived with kin. I thought I was free from theft. Kevin did not have the combo. I changed it the day I left. He tried a few numbers, maybe my birthday or Sarah's. The dial spun for nothing. He swore quietly. He put his head on the cold steel. He was desperate. He needed cash to run. He owed bad people. He took a big flathead screwdriver and a small crowbar from his pocket. He got them from the garage. He shoved the tool into the door crack. He started to pry. I drank some water. I watched him fight it. He grunted hard. I thought about the $250,000. That was the sum. $250,000 was gone from my IRA account over 18 months. I saw the error a year ago. Small wire transfers to Future Tech Solutions, LLC. $5,000 here, $1,000 there, $10,000 there. It was sloppy. It was proud. I tracked the LLC. Kevin's college roommate owned it. I had bank files. I had IP logs. I had it all. I could have faced him then. I could have called the cops right away, but I waited. I wanted to see his limit. I wanted to see if he would quit. He did not. He drained it. He stole my safety net for his dreams and other women. He stole money for his own son's future. On my screen, Kevin lost control. He pushed his whole weight on the crowbar. The wall near the safe cracked. He did not care about the mess. He was a beast after meat. With a loud snap, the lock broke. The thick steel door opened. Kevin dropped his tools. He cried with relief. He reached inside the dark hole. His hands shook a lot. The flashlight beam jumped on the walls. He wanted piles of $130 bills. He wanted saving. He took his hand out. He held one thin white envelope. He froze. He shined the light inside again, empty, just dust. He felt the back for a secret spot. Nothing. He looked at the paper. It had his name in my writing. Kevin. He ripped it open. He pulled out one page. I knew the words. I typed them on my old typewriter 2 weeks ago. I know about Future Tech Solutions, LLC. I know about the $250,000 you sent from the IRA. I have bank files. I have IP logs. I have a sworn paper from your old roommate. The FBI knows about wire fraud and elder abuse. They await my final call. Drop the crowbar, Kevin. It is done. I watched him read. I saw his eyes move. I saw the facts hit his brain. His knees gave way. He did not sit. He fell. He slid down the wall to the floor. The page dropped. He looked at the lens. He knew I watched. He knew the red eye in the corner taped his crime. It taped his face reading the bad news. He began to cry. It was an ugly cry. A man wept because he fell off a cliff. He curled up on the floor of my study. His own ruin was all around him. He thought I was a silly old man, a gold mine to dig. He did not know I check everything. He played poker. It was 6:00 on Tuesday night. The quiet of my Rich Street died. A diesel machine roared loud. I sat on my hotel deck. I watched the live feed on my pad. The motor sat on the neat front lawn. It looked like a rusty monster. It shook and blew black smoke in the damp air. Sarah rented it that morning. I saw the truck come. She paid cash. She likely sold some jewelry I gave her mother to pay for it and the food. This was the big event. This party would start her lifestyle brand. It was a fuzzy business idea. It meant selling candles and costly yoga mats to rich fools. She asked 50 top people in the Hamptons. She needed backers. She needed praise. Most of all, she needed cash to fake her grand life. The house looked silly. Thick orange power cords ran through the front door and windows. They powered a few lamps and a sound box. The central air was dead. It was 85 degrees inside. Sarah put fans in the corners. They just moved hot air. I watched guests pull up. Fancy cars filled the drive. Women in party dresses and men in light suits got out. They hated the diesel smell. They looked at the machine. They saw dark windows upstairs. They traded looks. This was the top crowd Sarah wanted to join. These folks smell fear like sharks smell blood. Sarah stood at the door. She said hello. She wore a silver-jeweled evening gown. It was too hot for it. Her hair sat high on her head. She kept it off her hot neck. She smiled a big, crazy smile. It did not reach her eyes. She spoke too fast. I could not catch every word over the loud motor, but I read her body. She was wild. I switched to the inside cam. It was the living room. They pushed the seats back. Cheap hired servers passed trays. The snacks looked like frozen food from Costco. Guests fanned themselves with small napkins. The wet heat ruined hair and makeup. I zoomed in by the fire. A woman with a pearl chain leaned in. She asked Sarah a thing. I turned up my pad. I hoped to hear over the noise. "Where is Art?" the lady asked. She looked around. I thought he would come. I wanted to ask about his shipping days. Sarah laughed. It was a high, thin sound. "Oh, Dad is in Europe. He took a fast trip to the Amalfi Coast. You know him, always flying around. He says hello." I drank some iced tea. The Amalfi Coast. I was 3 miles away in a hotel. I watched her lie like a pro. She liked a grand fake story better than the truth. She did not want to say her dad left. She needed my good name. She needed my weight to make her scam real. She used me even when I was gone. Then Kevin showed up. He walked in from the study hall. He looked like a dead man walking. He wore a tux. It was a bit big now. The stress of the past 48 hours shrank him. His face was gray. His eyes darted around. He looked for traps. He looked for cops. He looked for me. He knew about the safe. He knew about the FBI. He knew his time in this house was short, but Sarah made him act. She needed a rich husband to show off. She wanted a perfect scene. He walked to some men by the bar. He tried to smile. He tried to chat, but his hands shook hard. He spilled wine on his arm. He looked at the lens. He stared right at me. He had no fight left, just fear. He knew I watched. He knew I was the judge. The party was a slow crash. The motor choked and coughed. The lights flashed bad signs. The music stopped and then blasted loud. Guests checked their wrists. They drank fast. They wanted to go. The heat felt heavy. The mood was bad. They knew things were wrong. Real wealth is not this loud. Sarah clinked a glass. She stood in the middle. She sweat in her silver dress. "Listen up, everyone," she yelled over the engine. "We are glad you are here. Welcome to Lux Life. We want new partners to join our path." She pitched her plan. It was a mess of buzzwords. Synergy, holistic, new ways. She begged for money. She begged for a rope. She looked around. She wanted a check. She wanted a hero. She did not know her time was up. I looked away from the pad. I looked out the glass. Far down on the street I saw bright flashes. Not one car, not two. A whole line. 4 cop cars and 2 dark SUVs drove quiet. They went north to the hills. They went to my house. Mr. Sterling was on time. He kept his word. I signed the files on the web an hour ago. The deed was his. The boot notice was filed. The grace time was 0. I looked at the pad. Sarah held up a glass. "To family," she said, "and to what comes next." What came next parked in the drive. Blue flashes lit the front lawn. They hit the motor in bright bursts. Guests near the glass turned. The talk died. The music faded out. Sarah put her glass down. She looked out too. She saw the cops. She saw the man in a dark gray suit jacket get out first. She might think it was a noise check. She might think she could talk her way free. She did not know the party was dead. She did not know the landlord was here. I put my tea down. I leaned close. This was the big win. The books were even now. I watched the front door open. The hot night blew in. Cold, hard facts came with it. The huge front door swung wide. No nice host opened it. A firm cop pushed it. The thick wood hit the wall hard. It sounded like a gun over the loud motor outside. On my screen it hit fast. The 50 guests froze. The lady asking about ships dropped her fork. It hit a fine plate, a tiny sound in a very quiet room. Sarah stopped her toast. Her arm stayed up. Cheap wine bubbled in her cup. She looked at the door. She blinked fast. She tried to clear her sight. She saw the head cop. She saw 2 more cops behind him. Then she saw the man in the dark suit walk through the line. It was Mr. Sterling. He looked just like a guy with $380 million in real estate. Bored, sharp, and cold. He held a black leather book in his left hand. 6 men in gray suits stood on the porch behind him. They wore gloves. They had big boxes. They were the clearing crew. Sarah lowered her cup. She faked a smile. It was a mix of pure fear and a lie. She walked to the lead cop. Her silver-jeweled evening gown shined in the harsh work lights. "Officer," she said in a high pitch, "thank God you are here. Neighbors bother us about the noise. We have a pass for the motor. My man was going to turn it off." The cop did not smile. He kept his hat on. He looked at Sarah. He looked tired of all the crazy lies in this town. "Mrs. Pendleton," he said, "we are not here for noise. We are here to hand over the house. We will help clear it out." Sarah laughed. It sounded wet and choked. "Clear out, that is nuts. My dad owns this place. He is in Europe. You have the wrong house." The cop moved back. Mr. Sterling stepped up. He put his book on the entry table. He shoved a vase of sad flowers away. He opened the file. The crisp paper sounded loud in the quiet room. Even the motor outside felt quiet, like the machine leaned in to hear. "Good evening, Mrs. Pendleton," Mr. Sterling said. His voice was dry like sand. "I am Robert Sterling. I run Sterling Property Holdings. As of 48 hours ago, I own this whole place." Sarah stared. The guests stared. Kevin hid by the bar. He turned pure white. "You lie," Sarah spat. "My dad would never sell. It is my right to have it." Mr. Sterling took a page from the file. He held it high. It was a deed, a very exact kind. "He did not sell this week, ma'am. He sold the title to us 8 months ago. He signed a life estate deed. Do you know it?" Sarah shook her head like a fool. "It means," Mr. Sterling went on, liking the show, "your dad gave me the title, but he kept the right to live here until he dies. It is a normal plan. He can stay till the end." Sarah let out a big breath. "See," she told the guests, "he lives here. It is his home. You cannot toss us." Mr. Sterling held up one finger. It made her mute. "But," he said, "there is a catch. Art put it in the deal. Clause 14, Section B, the quick leave rule. It says if the dweller leaves for more than 48 hours and tells no one, and if he gives up his keys, the deal dies fast. The right to stay ends. Full control goes to the owner, right away." Sarah dropped her jaw. She looked like a caught fish. "What?" she gasped. Mr. Sterling took out a clear bag. Inside were keys. A brass one, a silver one, a smart fob. They had scratches. They had dirt. "My yard team found these in the rose bushes today. Your dad threw them on Friday night. He left the land. He is gone for 96 hours. He did not tell me, so he fired the rule. He gave up the house." I drank my tea in the room. I saw Sarah's face break. She saw Friday night in her head again. I stood on the porch. I threw the keys. She screamed at me to get them. She saw me do it. She watched me sign her doom. She thought I was just mad. "But Dad will come back," Sarah cried out. "He is on a trip. This is wrong. You cannot do this." "He will not return," Mr. Sterling said, cold as ice. "I talked to his lawyer, Mr. Vance, an hour ago. Art says he is out. He does not want to live here, and you are just guests. The guest pass is dead. You trespass now." He looked at the head cop. "Officer, please." The cop stepped up. He touched his belt. "Folks, the fun is done," he told the crowd. "This place is now run by Sterling Holdings. All non-residents must go now. Dwellers, you have 30 minutes. Grab bare needs, clothes and pills only. Leave big items and gems. Stay until the owner checks them." A wild panic broke out. It was great to watch. The rich folks of the Hamptons hate police raids. They grabbed bags. They ran for the door. Women tripped on tall heels. Men yelled for Parkers who did not exist. "Wait," Sarah screamed. She grabbed a rich man's arm. "Do not leave. This is a bad mix-up. We will fix it." The man yanked his arm free like she was sick. "Do not touch me," he hissed. "You said your dad was in Rome. You said you owned the brand. You are a fake." He walked out mad. The room cleared out fast. The big dream died on the floor. Fancy shoes stepped all over it. Mr. Sterling snapped his fingers. 6 guys in gray walked in. They moved like soldiers. 2 went to the TV. 2 went to the art. They did not move them. They tagged them. They put bright stickers on all the owner's goods. Sarah ran to Mr. Sterling. She grabbed his coat. "You cannot do this," she cried. "This is my home. My boy lives here. My clothes are here." Mr. Sterling peeled her hands off. He brushed his coat. "This is not your home, ma'am. It never was. You were a guest. Your time is up. You have 30 minutes. Be out or the cops will take you to jail." He checked his watch. 29 minutes. Then I saw Kevin. He stayed by the bar. He watched it all like a ghost. He saw cops. He saw the crew. He saw his wife yell, but he looked past them. He looked at the front door. He waited for a thing. He did not wait long. 2 men in light coats walked in behind the head cop. They were not local cops. They wore earpieces. Their belts held different badges. Shields. FBI. Kevin saw them. His legs gave way. He hit the bar. He knocked down a huge glass tower. The crash was so loud, the agents walked right to him. They did not run or yell. They knew he was stuck. "Kevin Pendleton," one agent said. Kevin nodded slow. He held out his wrists. He did not wait for them to ask. He wanted to go. He wanted out of this house with his wife and her mess. They put cuffs on him. They walked him past Sarah. She was too busy yelling at a guy touching her vase to see the feds take her man. I watched it all. My pad screen showed a hell I built. They stripped the house. The guests fled. The family broke into pieces. Sarah stood all alone in the living room. The engine outside ran out of gas. It coughed and died. The plugged lights flickered and went black. The room fell into pure dark. Only cop flashlights and blue strobes lit the space. Sarah looked around the dark, bare room. She looked at the lens. "Dad," she whispered into the black. "Dad, help me." I touched the screen. Link dead. I shut the app. The play was done. The curtain fell. I got my proof. They did not care when I stayed. They only cared when I left. And now I was gone forever. The living room was pitch black. Only harsh cop beams cut the dark like prison yard lights. Kevin was gone. Feds took him out the back in cuffs. His proud fake self left a big hole. Now the light hit Sarah alone. She stood in the middle. Her silver-jeweled evening gown caught the wild beams. She looked like a mirror ball in a tomb. She shook hard, not from cold but from pure rage. I felt it vibrate on my pad. "This is a crime," she shrieked. Her voice broke. "You cannot toss me. This is my house. My mom died here. It is my right. It is my birth gift. You robbed me." She jumped at Mr. Sterling. Her hands formed claws. A cop blocked her way. He was a solid wall of nothing. Sarah bounced off him. She fell back on her tall heels. Mr. Sterling did not flinch. He fixed his glasses. He opened the blue folder again. He took out one page. It was not a deed this time. It was a letter. I wrote it 4 years ago. Sarah begged me to put her name on the house. "Mrs. Pendleton," Mr. Sterling said. His voice was calm and dry. It echoed in the quiet room. "You have no birth gift to claim. There is no house to pass down. This page is a pass to stay, signed by Art. Do you recall it?" Sarah stared at the page. Her eyes grew wide. "It states clearly," Sterling read by the cop's light, "that Sarah Pendleton and her family can live here only if the owner, Art Pendleton, says so. It says no rent is due. But the guests agree they have no rights, no stakes, and no claim to the deed. It also states this pass can die at any time for no reason. He put the page down. Your dad did not just sell, ma'am. He made your role clear years ago. You were never the boss. You were never the next in line. You were a charity case. You stayed for blood, not law. And tonight the charity ends. Sarah shook her head fast. No, she whispered. No, he would not do that. He swore to me. He said this was all mine. He swore you a home, Sterling fixed her words. He did not swear you a crown. You paid him back by telling him to shut up at his own meal. You paid him back by trying to lock him in a madhouse. You broke the deal, ma'am, both moral and legal. He turned to the head cop. Officer, clear the site. We must lock the goods. The cop nodded. He turned to the crowd by the door. They clutched pricey bags. They watched the crash with sick joy. These were the folks Sarah tried to woo. The top class, the trend makers, the ones she needed to feel real. Now they watched her total ruin. All right, folks, the cop yelled. Fun is done. Out. This is a crime scene and a bank grab. Go home. The rush began. It was ugly. No one said bye. No one gave Sarah a hug. They just wanted to run from the stench of failure. They walked past her. I heard their low talk on the sharp mic. Did you hear she lived here free? I heard her man stole cash. She told me she owned the brand. What a fake. I will delete her number. Sarah stood there. She heard her grand life poof away. She reached out. She grabbed her best friend's arm, a woman named Emily who ran a neat shop in town. Wait, Sarah begged. Can I crash with you tonight? Just one night to fix this. Emily yanked her arm back, like Sarah was hot fire. She smoothed her dress. She looked at Sarah with dead, cold eyes. I do not think so, Sarah. I have my name to guard. And really, you still owe me for the dress you have on. She walked out. She left Sarah in the dark. Ma'am, the cop said. He took Sarah's arm. Time to go. Sarah dug her feet in. No, I stay. Drag me out. I will not go. Mr. Sterling sighed. He looked beat. He looked like a guy who just wanted his own paid-off bed. Officer, remove her. Two cops moved in. They grabbed her arms. She screamed. It was a sharp, loud noise. It made my pad speakers crack. She kicked and fought. Her silver-jeweled evening gown tore at the side. Her pinned hair fell loose. Wild strings crossed her face. They walked her to the front door. She dragged her shoes on the wood floors. It left marks they would have to buff away. They pushed through the open frame. They went out to the front porch. The hot, damp night hit her. The motor was dead, but diesel stink hung thick. The cops did not stop on the wood. They marched her down the steps. Sarah tripped. Her heel hit the edge of the stone walk. She fell. She hit the front lawn hard. It rained a bit earlier. A fast summer shower I missed from my room. The dirt was soft and wet. The grass was mud where the yard guy walked to get his tools. Sarah fell face first in the muck. Her silver-jeweled evening gown, the pride of her vanity, soaked up the brown dirt. She tried to push up. Her hands slipped. She rolled over. She sat in the sludge, her legs laid out in front of her. She looked up at the house she thought was hers, the house where she tortured me. Mr. Sterling stood in the frame. The flash beam lit his back. He looked like an angel of bad news. Do not come back, Mrs. Pendleton, Sterling yelled out. Step on this grass and you go to jail. Your things go in boxes. They go to the curb on Friday. Rent a truck. He closed the heavy wood door. The click of the lock was final. It was a hard stop to a very long run. Sarah sat in the mud. The cop cars drove off. The job was done. The guests were gone. Red lights faded down the road. She was alone, so alone, covered in muck in the dark. No cash, no man, no house. She looked at the lens on the garage. She knew I was there. She knew I built this trap. She opened her mouth to scream. No sound came out. She just fell forward. She put her face in dirty hands and cried. It was not a call for help. It was the sound of a harsh truth check caching. I watched a bit more, then I reached out. I closed the app. The screen turned black. The show was done. I got my life back. I got my pride back. And out in the dark, Sarah finally learned the lesson I failed to teach her years ago. You cannot bite the hand that feeds you and expect more food. 3 days after the lights died in the big house, I sat at a table at the saltwater grill. I looked out over the Long Island Sound. The sun went down. It cast a warm orange glow on the sea. I ate crab legs and drank iced tea. I felt new. The tight band in my chest was gone. The low hum of stress I felt for 12 years left me. I felt light. I felt young. I looked at my face in the spoon. The lines looked less deep. The dark marks under my eyes were gone. Free life is the best youth cream cash can buy. I saw them walk up the dock before they spotted me. They looked like lost souls from a bad TV show. Sarah wore jeans and a crushed tee. Her firm hair sat in a loose, messy bun. She wore no makeup. Her face was puffy, red, and spotty. She looked 12 years older than she did on Friday. Kevin walked behind her. He wore no suit. He wore sweatpants and a hoodie. It was 70 degrees out. He walked with his head down. I saw the bump on his leg under the cloth, an ankle monitor. He made bail for wire fraud and theft. He gave up his passport. His bank accounts were locked. He was a captive in his own skin. They stopped at my spot. They did not ask to sit. They just fell into the chairs across from me. The server walked up. He looked worried. I waved him off. "Hello, Sarah," I said. "Hello, Kevin, you look beat." Sarah stared at me. Her eyes held hate, shock, and deep fear. "You ruined us," she hissed. Her voice was rough. "We have no home, Dad. We stay at a Motel 6 by the road. Tyler will not talk to me. Kevin faces 20 years in jail. You broke it all." I took a bite of my crab legs. It tasted perfect. "I ruined nothing, Sarah," I said. I chewed slow. "I just stopped fixing your brakes. There is a gap." "You called the feds," Kevin said. He kept his eyes down. "You sent the files. You sent the IP logs. You set a trap." I wiped my mouth. "I checked my books, Kevin. I found a hole. I told the law, that is not a trap. That is smart business. You stole $250,000 from a guy you called a spare part. You thought I was too old to care. You thought I was too dumb to track a wire. You guessed wrong." Sarah hit the table. It was a weak slap compared to Friday night. "Stop it," she hissed. "Just stop. We get it, okay? You made your point. You win. Now fix it. Stop the law on Kevin. Buy the house back from Sterling. We can go back. I vow to be nice. I vow we will heed you. Please, Dad, I cannot live in a cheap inn. I am your kid." I looked at her. I looked deep in her eyes. I looked for the small girl who held my hand to cross the street. I looked for the teen who wept for a dead fish. I saw zero. All I saw was a math machine. I saw a girl who priced love in room size and card limits. I reached in my leather bag on the next chair. I took out a small black book. It looked beat up. I kept it for years. I slid it on the table. "What is this?" Sarah asked. She looked at it like a bomb. "Open it," I said. She opened the book. Her eyes read my neat print, lines of sums, dates, and cash. "Page 1, I said. "The year you turned 18. School, dorm room, club fees, beach trips. A new car because you hated the paint on the used one I got you. Sum, $310,000. She turned the page. Her hand shook. "Page 10, I said. "The big day. The dress, the haul, the free drinks, the trip to the Maldives. $105,000. She flipped more. "Page 20, I said. "The house cash. The monthly bucks hidden as fake work fees for Kevin's ghost shops. The card bills I paid quiet so your score stayed high. The fancy school for Tyler. The yard guy, the pool kid, the food." I leaned close. "Go to the last page, Sarah." She flipped to the end. One sum sat in red ink. $5,300,000. I tapped the wood. "That is the sum, Sarah. That is the price of your love. That is the cost of my quiet life. $5.3 million. I paid for all your meals. I paid for all your clothes. I paid for all your sins." Sarah looked up. Tears ran down her cheeks. "So what?" she cried. "You are rich. You have the cash. What is money to you?" "It is not about the cash," I said soft and low. "It is about the yield. In trade, when you put cash in a plan, you want growth. You want gain, or at least you want thanks." I looked at Kevin. I looked at Sarah. "I put $5.3 million in this group. The yield was zero. The yield was pure spite. The yield was theft. The yield was you telling me to shut up at my own meal, and you plotting to lock me up. I shut the book. I took it back. I owe you zero now, Sarah. The books are even. I count that $5.3 million as a parting gift. I bought my free life. It was worth every cent. I stood up. I dropped a $130 bill for the server. Kevin finally looked up. His eyes were bright red. "Where do you go, Art?" he asked. I fixed my dark gray suit jacket. I checked my watch. "I have a plane to catch, Kevin. You have a court date. Keep your breath for the judge." I turned away. "Dad, wait," Sarah yelled. "Dad, do not leave us. What will we do?" I did not stop. I did not walk slow. I left the deck. I walked into the warm sea breeze. I heard her sob behind me. It was a loud, nasty sound. It made folks stare. But for the first time, her tears did not make me pause. They were just noise. I was done with noise. A black car sat at the curb. The driver opened the door. "To the runway, Mr. Pendleton?" he asked. "Yes, Thomas," I said. "To the runway." I got in. The car drove off. I watched through the dark back glass. Sarah ran out of the grill. She stood on the walk. She watched the car fade in traffic. She looked tiny. She looked lost. She looked like a girl who just found out the bank of Dad closed for good. 20 minutes later, the car drove on the private runway. The Bombardier Global 7500 sat there. It shined white in the blue sky. It was a grand machine, a mark of all I built and all I hid. I walked up the steps. The flight crew gave me a silver champagne glass. "Welcome, Mr. Pendleton. Your friends wait inside." I walked in the cabin. 3 men sat in soft leather chairs, George, Henry, and Charles. They were in the Wealth Club. Sarah mocked. She called them the old squad. She did not know we held more cash than a small nation. They were my pals. They knew true trust. "Art," George said. He raised his cup. "You made it." I smiled, a real deep smile. "I made it, George. The heavy bags are gone." I sat by the glass. The jet spun up. A low, strong thrum shook the floor. I opened the wood table. I laid out a big old map of the world. It had worn folds. Margaret and I bought it 45 years ago. We traced lines with our hands. We dreamt of trips for our golden years before sickness took her, before sadness locked me in that house. I put my hand on the map. I traced the line across the sea. "Where to first, Art?" Charles asked. I looked at the map. I looked at the spot Margaret marked in red so long ago. "Rome," I said. "We go to Rome." The jet began to roll. I looked out as the ground sped by. The sheds blurred. The trees turned to green lines. With a huge push, we left the earth. I watched the ground drop. I saw the roads. I saw the coast. I saw the big tracks of New York homes. Somewhere down there in that maze of tiny roofs was a big house with no lights. Somewhere down there was a girl in the dark. She finally knew she was all alone. Folks say blood is all that matters. They say kin is thicker than water. They say you must give up your life for your kids to smile. They are wrong. Pride is all that matters. Self-worth is all that matters. Without respect, kin is just a word. It is a birth chance. It is a blank word folks use to use you. I looked at the white clouds rushing by. I was 74 years old. I lost my wife. I lost my kid. But as the jet turned east to the sea and the dawn, I felt a deep truth. I found myself, and I loved the company. The crew filled my cup again. "To fresh starts, Mr. Pendleton," she said. I held up the cup. The bubbles popped in the bright sun. "No," I whispered, "to the end of bad deals." I took a sip. It tasted like the open sky. It tasted like the rest of my days. And for the first time in a long while, the sight was grand. We often hear that family bonds are set in stone. But Art's tale shows that blood does not excuse cruelty. Free gifts with no limits are not love. That is just